Hi, and welcome to another one. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the nurse who literally just stoically stood there, sat there, and as a pregnant woman was literally about to give birth. So on this channel, we talk about difficult conversations, tough talks, things people aren't really talking about from a biblical perspective. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and afterwards, just put my own input as a mother myself and how I felt walking into a hospital as a Black woman. Well, or get enrolled into a hospital, but let's.
Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the Black ones?
This is Dallas Regional Medical Hospital in Mesquite, Texas. This isn't the first time that they have been subject to controversy in viral videos online criticizing them for patient care because of that nurse in this video. This is LaCrista Vaughn, the nurse from that video, and she was featured in another prior viral video. A young Black man with a seizure condition came into the emergency room and was treated poorly because they assumed that he was on drugs.
Go ahead and turn your phone off too, please. I can record. I'm in a public place. Yeah, look at the treatment.
In this video, this patient was in active labor, and this nurse showed absolutely zero care and concern for her. Instead, she was more concerned with filling out paperwork than actually getting her up to labor and delivery or helping her at all. The person recording the video was the patient's mother. She has since posted a follow-up video explaining the entire story, where she states that her daughter had actually been scheduled for an induction that day, and they called and told her that they didn't have enough beds, and they would call her when one was available. She went into active labor later in the day. It says that they even called ahead of time to let the hospital know that they were coming. But by the time that they arrived at the hospital, she was already in active labor and the baby was born 12 minutes later. As the patient is sitting here screaming because of the agonizing contractions, the nurse keeps asking her questions, to which she or her mother responds. But by the time she gets on the phone to actually speak to labor and delivery, she's acting like she doesn't know the answers to the questions that she was just given.
Her due date is the 10th.
This is not an isolated incident for this nurse or this hospital, because apparently they have a reputation for this sort of thing. I'm going to tag the OG poster down below. Please go watch all of their videos.
They had the license. She already got her license revoked. So, but they had the license number. Somebody said she could have unalived. Exactly. Exactly. Comfort everybody. Yes, her license was revoked. It's already been outed. The internet is going to do what they're going to do, but it's absolutely atrocious, foul, and just disgusting for you to even work in this field and be so cold and callous. Like, go somewhere. Go somewhere. Like, have you ever had a baby before? Do you know the intensity that goes through? And that one, I just want to bring in like my experience being in these crusty hospitals, like, and it's not, I can't even, I haven't experienced every single hospital, but when it comes to Black women, you guys already know the statistics. If you don't, when a Black woman walks into a hospital versus any other nationality, we have the highest mortality rates. Okay. What does that sound like? That sounds like some Exodus stuff. When the Pharaoh, Joseph had passed away, he didn't know the people, he didn't know Joseph, so he's seen how Israel was like popping, how we were popping, how we were literally popping out babies left and right. Okay. And he got afraid. Okay. He got afraid because he thought that our people were going to rise up against us. And our people, we don't even do all of that. Like, we are some of the most chillest, calmest, coolest people. Get up and smile even after 400 years of slavery, still have a smile on our face and still be able and still guide culture in general where other nationalities look up to us. That's a straight fact. Look at the music culture, the media, everything. Like, look at sports, all of that. But he basically told the midwives to, whenever they see boys, to unalive them so that they can X, Y, and Z. They don't come up against us. But in reality, the midwives were blessed, and God made sure to bless them, because they was like, oh nah, we're not about to do that. The babies come quick, and we just not about to do that. We fear the Lord. And just off of the strength of that, history repeats itself, y'all. We're not just these weak and feeble beings that can't survive in hospitals or survive childbirth. No, we can. It's just that they have set up these wicked people that are in these places. It would have been a whole lawsuit. What would have happened if she would have passed away right then from her pain? Okay, passed away from the exertion, the energy, the output. You're splitting the matrix. Like, this is not no time for you not to show any empathy and care in the job position you signed up for. So the fact that she's sitting here and could have passed away, thank God she didn't, is the example, one of the many examples of how we are treated in these hospitals. I remember with my daughter, I was going into labor. I had been going through contractions. I found out I pretty much have like a pretty high pain tolerance, I feel like, because I don't express pain in the same type of way, but I definitely was feeling the pain. But I thought it was contractions myself, but you know how people doubt and stuff like that and say, oh, maybe it's just Braxton Hicks, whatever. But when you're a mother and you know your body, you're in your own body, like the gaslighting be crazy. But anyway, so I ended up going to the hospital. I was so far in labor, there was no chance for no epidural, which was great because epidural is trash anyway and inhibits you in later years, as well as could potentially harm your youth. But anyway, this doctor walks in, like, of course, a white woman, and she just looks so just she just like reminded me of like a hobbit or something, how they come in just mean and just grisly and didn't even like have any warmth to her, even though I mean, as far as I'm concerned, was a living human being. Like, there was no warmth, that she was just cold-blooded, came in and proceeded to just shove her fingers into me. And that was just a super uncomfortable moment. Lady, you like the fact, it's like you have to deal with this stuff. I don't even want you to come near me, let alone, can you imagine just someone who genuinely, and I felt the vibe, hates you because of who you are, your skin color, it has access to be able to just push their hands up in you. There's no love, there's no bond. I never met you a day in my life. It just, you're just this mean and this just unappealing individual. So it's just the way that it even, and it's not just limited to white people, like your own kind be doing the same thing where, this one nurse, and I guess it's because she didn't think that I was going through that much pain, but still, if anyone is going through labor in any shape, form, or fashion, you need to automatically assume that they're going through some type of pain. Not everybody expresses pain in the same type of way. Like, let's not forget that not everybody's, is screaming and stuff like that, and I wasn't like that. I wasn't like this crazy screamer. In most instances, I was, like I said, just, that's just how I am. I was just quieter. She comes back into the room and she's like, wow, I forgot how many centimeters dilated, but I was nearing popping. And she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were that dilated, and you were going through all of this pain. And that doesn't make sense. As a black woman helping another black woman, you should automatically have this empathetic way to you. When she came in, she was just like nonchalant about it. Everybody just nonchalant. I'm telling you, if I could redo everything over, midwife, search out a good midwife, with someone who understands, someone who preferably is in the truth, who knows about the king, okay, on his throne, who knows about his son Christ, who knows about the Holy Spirit and clinging to her, who knows the truth that's going on in this dome, okay? That's who I would want as a midwife. And an at-home birth without random people that you've never met before. I remember when my other son was born, he was intimacised. Like, the nurse would not stop talking about how big his feet is, and she was white. And I just felt really uncomfortable after the first time, okay, but you keep gawking and you keep saying it. It's like, what is the point? Why is you saying this? Like, so many times. It's just really a weird environment. It was just a bad, a- altogether, multiple instances, just bad experiences. But I'm happy that she, that she did not pass, and that she is, and I hope her baby is good. No one said anything about that. This is the license number. She's been, This one says, I cannot help you. Did I hear that correct? Yeah. And then this is a comment says, not to mention this woman did not just go to a random hospital. This was her planned birthing hospital. Yeah, that part is crazy. Like mine wasn't all, well, mine was planned, but there wasn't any plan to induce labor. I delivered all my vaginally, and randomly wasn't the due date. Whenever the baby was ready, the baby was ready. The fact that she had all of this put together so she didn't have to go through this situation, which you shouldn't even have to go through this situation at all anyway, is wild. The comment continues, she was literally scheduled there to be induced earlier that day. The hospital told her to wait because they had no beds. Then when she can't take it no more, then they get there, and this is how they're treated. All nurses involved need to be fired. This is the prime example of medical racism. Factoid. Okay, next comment says Rebecca James was fired in Florida. This is Texas. Oh, so she was fired somewhere else and then went somewhere else. They need to completely revoke her license in every continent known to man, even the ones outside the ice wall and everything. Like this woman should not be allowed to help nobody. Comment says her being fired and then moving to a different hospital is a lot like police officers getting fired for violence and then moving to a different precinct. Okay, these comments be telling. This comment says this was the hospital she was planning to give birth to that morning. All these questions about baby's pregnancy should have been in her chart already. Exactly. And even the creator hearted it. Yes. Girl, why are you asking all of these questions, yo? Let you come in here with a life threatening, because this is life threatening, with a life threatening instance, and you come in, I don't know, from some type of wound and you're bleeding out. Okay, okay, okay. Um, hold on. Messed up the Gotta go back. Messed up the period. Gotta put the proper punctuation in there. Okay, how much do you weigh? Okay, I can't help you. I can't help you. Um, Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just absolute insanity. What if that was your daughter? What if that was your daughter? These people don't be thinking that these things can't happen to them. What if that was I saw a picture of another man that might have been your husband. Like, what if that was your husband? What if that was your family member that was in need? Would you want them to be treated that way? You really have to like sit and think. Like these people think that nothing, like the way that their actions are, like God isn't watching. It's just absolutely wild. Everything needs to be revoked. Internet be on this type of stuff with these people, and it's like it's absolutely crazy. Like you to treat somebody like that, to just treat anybody like that. I don't understand it personally. I don't care what color you are. I'm going to treat you with respect. I don't at the end of the day, like who am I? Or if there's a dire situation, I'm not gonna sit there and ask, all of these crazy questions, or treat you a certain way because of your skin color. I don't get that. I just don't. But with all that being said, seek the most high, seek the most high. And he put so much knowledge and information on that through the experiences that I've went through. I also have a book, Melanated and Expecting, with situations like my obviously was not as dire as this. This is crazy. I think she should sue. Yes, definitely. I don't know how that will go about in court. I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like this is suable. Okay, go do the stereotype. Yes, sue. Sue. You definitely should sue the hospital, especially if this continues frequently. But I do go over things to the things that I wish I had known, that I'm dealing with certain consequences that I'm dealing with. Could have been worse, but God really got us through, are in this book, and things that they don't really want you to talk about on the internet. If you want to show your support while getting edified, the link is in the either description or the pinned comment. But with all that being said, of course, seek the most high. Through Christ, you have this opportunity to be in a better place, because this ain't it. This ain't it. I can't even imagine just being bent over, because that's how you feel when you're about to give labor. You just want to get into position and let it out. Like when they say, when I went into the ambulance, they're saying you're gonna feel like you're gonna want to push. Don't do that. You have to wait. It's a very hard thing to sit there wanting to push and you can't push. And she's asking all of these ridiculous questions, okay? Asking all of these ridiculous questions and having absolutely no empathy and somehow being able to call herself a nurse. But with all that being said, stay sober minded on these spiritual streets. Peace.